If you've played Baldur's Gate 3, then you're probably familiar with Duke Ravengard. He also features in the Descent into Avernus campaign, which we're playing right now with my husband running the game, and he asked me to make a miniature to represent this character. I was so lucky because I had a Reaper miniature Sir Malcolm on hand who is pretty close. He's kind of a doppelganger for Duke Ravengard. I mean, short of having a flaming fist icon on his shield, seriously, look at him and look at the art, and I couldn't have asked for something better. This mini is pretty simple, and I approached it that way. I really had some fun with the base, though. That was my favorite part of it. I did a little freehand mosaic on there. It's not super complex, very easy to do, and because there's so little of the base showing, I think it was pretty effective. It also pulled the colors from the model down into the base. I'm going to show you how I did this at the end of the video, but if you're impatient, there are timestamps, so you can just jump ahead and check that out if you want. So I did go look for some official art for him, and I was kind of surprised to realize that he's in primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, not a color scheme I would have picked. But I went ahead and pulled those colors. I figured let's challenge ourselves, but I'm going to mix it up just a little bit and add some green. I really like how it ended up on the inside of his cloak, and it broke up that primary kind of basic color palette a little bit. I also opted to use both silver and gold on this mini. I figured with the yellows in there, the gold was going to pull that in. And then on the inspiration art, a lot of his armor is silver already, so I went with that. I am using true metallic paints, and I honestly, in retrospect, feel like this was a missed opportunity. I should have started trying out some non-metallic metal skills. But I got a little lazy and I just grabbed the metallics, which are fine. They're fine for tabletop. They're totally fine. They came out fine. I did a little wash over them later on, and it's fine. And I'm not really convincing myself. Maybe I should have tried harder, but overall, the mini does look very good. Now, Reaper miniatures are plastic miniatures, and sometimes things can be a little crooked. I didn't save any footage of this. I didn't take footage. I was down in my kitchen just trying to straighten his sword out really quick. It came pretty crooked out of the box, and so all I did was heat some water in the microwave, dunk his sword into it till it got hot, pushed it back into place, or it kind of moves back into place. It has a memory of its own, and then dunked it in a little ice water bath just to straighten it out, and it stayed straight. That was 3 weeks ago at the time that I'm recording this voiceover. I kind of went on vacation and took a break. I didn't have time to finish this video before I left town, so I'm finishing it now. So it's just a quick little tip. If you use plastic minis and you need to reshape something, just heat it up and then give it a quick little ice bath dunk. As I'm making these videos and exploring kind of the artistic side of all of this, I have made realizations, and you might notice there's no swatch card in today's video. There's a little bit of paper with some paint on it. I always swatch my paints to decide how they're going to mesh together, but I decided they were stupid. I just woke up and said, you know what? It's dumb. The picture's on one side and the swatches are on the other, and that's not useful. You have to turn it over. I want them together. So I'm taking a break from that. I'm still going to swatch my colors. I think it's important. I like to see how the paint pulls out once you have water on it and you kind of dilute it, especially I think it's Nightmare Black has that blue in it, and whenever I swatched it out, it really goes into this beautiful kind of cobalty blue, and you wouldn't know that by just putting a drop of it on your palette. So I feel like it's an important step. You can see how the colors jive together before you even go to the model. And I'm still going to do it. I'm going to find maybe a new way to do it, or save the swatches digitally, scan them in, and make myself a digital card for my own collection. And that way I won't lose it too. So that's a thought. so so if you've been following me, this is only my fifth video, but that's what happened to the swatch cards. I'm sure it's going to be an evolving situation. Another thing that happened in the last couple of weeks is I moved my painting space, and so I've spent some time getting that put together. We have a room dedicated for 3D printing and miniature painting. It's a tiny room, so it's not super fancy or anything. But I also have an office, and I had a spare table in there that was just kind of covered in projects I wasn't finishing. So I've turned it into a painting table, and that way when we're running the 3D printer or I want to set up the airbrush, I have a separate space for that. It is absolutely a luxury, one I feel very fortunate to have. But that means now I had to like fix my camera setup and all kinds of other things. But I'm think I've got it nailed down and I'm excited to film my next video. I'm going to be doing a couple of props, a soul coin and a dice jail for our games. So if you'd like to see how those turn out, please go ahead and subscribe. And that's going to be my video next week. And I'm really excited to do something a little bigger and a little grittier and messier, maybe as far as the dice jail goes. And then probably play with true metal paints again for the soul coin mixed with some other things. So I haven't fully planned it out, but I'm looking forward to doing it. So when I got to the base, I decided to do a little bit of freehand instead of doing a stamp base or something more elaborate. You can hardly see any of it. So I used a base coat of his skin color, that dark brown, as the base. And then I just put a bunch of dots of white. And then I came in on top of that and put little dots of my colors. I just did it randomly. And voila, a colorful mosaic floor that pulls in the colors of the model, carries it around, and it took almost no effort, and it's gonna look really good from a distance on the table. So here is my budget Duke Ravengard in all of his glory. I think if I had the skills, I would have tried to freehand the Flaming Fists logo, the fist with the fire around it, onto his cloak, but I just don't have those skills yet. You should see my to learn list. It's it's got non-metallic metal, it's got freehand, it's got a lot of other things on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and my ramblings while you watched me paint, and I hope that you'll join me again next week for my next project.